a TikTok issue, but the law shouldn't be applied prudently, especially when we look at the acts which exist. There is the Cybercrime Act, there is the social media rules and regulations to control the same, and as for that, those acts are in one or the other providing enough cover and protection to make sure that if they are obtained and followed properly, surely TikTok can be able to exist. With those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I really support this bill.
Thank you. Member for West Mugirango.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this great opportunity to also support this report. From the chair of the Petitions Committee, with whom I share a sitting in JLAC, and this is his first report I am seeing. I have been underestimating his ability, but I'm now convinced beyond doubt that the Petitions Committee is doing a fantastic job. Indeed, he doesn't carry himself as one who can deliver such a fantastic report. Humility usually is with very clever people. Madam Speaker, technology is an enabler of every service delivery. And any technology, including the TikTok we are talking about, should only be regulated, not banned. And for that reason, I thank this committee for living with the times and for making the 13th Parliament a proud parliament that would regulate any product that comes to this country rather than being selfish and slow-moving by thinking of banning it. When you look at other mainstream media, there is regulation through the Media Council. And as the mainstream media is regulated, so should be every media, including social media, including the TikTok. And I urge inventors, particularly those in social media, to rise to the occasion like the mainstream media rose and set up a self-regulation for themselves. It's unfortunate that it is Parliament now pushing for this regulation, meaning therefore that these inventors are not living with the times. I have noticed that we are saying the social media unregulated is only dangerous to young persons. Madam Speaker, I think bad content is bad no matter the age, because it is not a license that once you are an adult, you go exhibiting your nudities and what is done in bedrooms and splashing them in social media. A bad thing is a bad thing for anybody, and that moral decadence should be stopped for all ages. Adulthood is no license for exhibiting immorality and annoying, particularly those adults who are not very lucky to all the time live with their spouses. You can imagine how disturbing it can be for such married but unaccompanied adults. Madam Speaker, it is also important that through this regulation, every content gets ownership. You are all aware that cyber bullies take advantage of anonymity and unregulated environment to bully anybody they target, including political competitors. It is therefore important that through this regulation, every content creator takes responsibility. How I wish that we got a mechanism of licensing any content creator. We got a way to track who owns or who has created what content, and those who target defaming or adulterating people's reputation, they should be held to account. Madam Speaker, we must insist on this regulation so that those who are propagating their prejudices through religion, through other idiosyncrasies, such people should be made to account, and it is with those few remarks that I support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Through you have learned there is a new category of married and unaccompanied people. Member for Nyeri Town. Honorable Mathengi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the report of the committee recommending that we regulate social media platforms, including TikTok. And I would like to correct maybe the impression that could have been created by previous speakers on the floor of this House who have referred to banning of TikTok. Nowhere in the recommendations of this committee has the issue of banning TikTok been addressed. And in fact, it is the position of the committee that banning TikTok would be contrary, would violate our constitution. So let it become clear that the proposal is on regulation. And
Honorable DMM,
yes,
we were very clear that it is the petitioner who had proposed the ban, but committee has proposed regulation.
That is what I wanted to come out clearly, Madam Speaker, that the committee has actually declined to ban TikTok as per the petition, but has gone a step further and recommended a regulation, and it's not just for TikTok, but social media platforms. Honorable Speaker, the regulation could include self-regulation. Like we have community rules and community standards on WhatsApp and other social media platforms. But most importantly, Honorable Speaker, is that as we regulate, we must appreciate the economic contribution of social media platforms, especially in an era where the globe has gone digital. That we live in a global village, and the definition of work, as traditionally we have known it, has been completely disrupted and changed with the advent of digital platforms and digitization. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, the regulation that we propose, even as we confer the powers to regulate on certain bodies that are existing, like the Constitutional Commission and the Ministry of Interior, it is imperative that these regulations must be supportive of the economic opportunities that the digital arena continues to provide, especially for our young people. Madam Speaker, the AI, the artificial intelligence age is uncharted waters. It holds potential opportunities. In fact, it is being said that the next millionaires and billionaires are going to be made by the AI space. And therefore, our regulation must be as forward-thinking as possible. It must capture the reality of what our young people are able to do positively using the social media, but at the same time, protect us and as a country and our communities from the negative side, from the negative unintended consequences and also side effects of the digital space and social media use. Madam Speaker, Our constitution guarantees a lot of rights. But at the same time, the constitution also does delineate very clearly the limits of the enjoyment of those rights. And therefore, these regulations, the proposed regulations that the committee has recommended, must also ensure that we operate within the boundaries, clear boundaries that are set within the freedoms that are provided by our Constitution. Madam Speaker, the other issue is the question of data protection in the social media space. And this is an area that a lot of infringements have happened. Madam Speaker, I support with the rider that the regulations must be supportive of the exploitation of the economic opportunities that exist. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Mule.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I raise to support the committee's, the Public Petitions Committee's recommendation to regulate the TikTok as a digital social media, but not to ban as the petitioner had requested. One, we are moving to the digital world, so we cannot tend to move backwards. Everything is getting to digital, and that is the route that we should take as a country. We should not go back while others are going forward. Like we have AIs that is in the digital space, and as a country, we cannot afford to ban TikTok. However, when TikTok was introduced to the country, there was a lot of heat that brought with TikTok. Like, for example, we used to have people going, it was called going live on TikTok, where people, you used to see nude photos, people doing these funny acts of making love on this platform, which brought a lot of heat to the country. And I guess that is what was pushing this petitioner to petition the ban of TikTok. But lately we've become of age, and it's settling, and the right content is coming. And again, some of the other things that warranted the banning of TikTok was the impact it would have on national security, because the TikTok, you cannot have the authenticity. We cannot be the information that is coming out would not be authentic information that comes out of TikTok and might cause national security. However, it has several advantages. One of the advantages of TikTok is it creates monetary values, like many contributors have said. For example, the young people are going live, and the young people are making money when they do the content creation. In these social places, like in my hometown, you find that many young people are occupying the social places. And when you ask what they are doing content creation. And from the content creation, they make money. That is one way of engaging the youth so that they can make money. Another thing is, on the advantage of TikTok is easy way to communicate. If something happens, like right now, it goes viral, meaning that it's like you are getting real-time information. So with TikTok, communication is very easy and gets to everywhere. Another advantage of TikTok is you learn so many great things and good things. Not bad things are learned, not only bad things are learned from TikTok. Like for example, you can learn cooking various foodstuffs. You can learn cooking fish, making eggs, making all types of foods you can learn from watching TikTok. And also, it is very informative. Like you can learn how to repair phones, how to repair cars, how to repair. It's a good thing when you use it properly. And also, it is very entertaining. TikTok it's very entertaining. I find myself spending a lot of time being entertained when I go through and flip through the TikTok. Again, it's a way of advertising your products if you want it to reach to many people. TikTok, you can really advertise your products easily. But however, there are two things that can better.
I say time is 5 minutes. Your time is up. Honorable Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues on commenting on the petition by the Petition Committee. But just want to correct my colleague, TJ Kajwang. I have adult children, even though I have other now children phase 3. And see, that's how life goes on. So I speak for these ones who needs to be protected in life. Honorable Speaker, we find ourselves in a conundrum. Technology has come, and we have no means of restricting the expansion and growth of technology. But we must also admit technology can be destructive if not well managed, if not well regulated. Honorable Speaker, there is a common joke now going around. The greatest challenge faced with the world at the moment is artificial intelligence and natural stupidity. Those are now the joke going around. That those two combined together, they're going to destroy this world. And we just hope it will destroy other, but those of us, the old geezers, will remain because I think we can deal with it. Honorable Speaker, I'm a man who believes in freedom of expression. I'm a man who believes that everybody must be given a right to say whatever they want. And the only thing we can do, I might not disagree with you, but I have got a constitutional right to protect your right to say so. The same way, let people use social media whichever way they want. But unfortunately, as my seniors have said, we're an African society guided by certain norms and values. We just hope and pray, and I want to appeal to those who use social media. Of course, when the petition came to ban TikTok, I was apprehensive because any attempt for Parliament to sanitize such kind of a request will actually be unconstitutional and be playing in the hands of those people who believe this 13th Parliament has got a challenge. And these challenges, we'll talk about them, regardless whether we are going to be expelled or not. Honorable Speaker, we must protect the young ones. In Australia, they have banned the under 16 in social media, simply to allow them to develop their faculties naturally as expected. I've just been Googling, I'm told TikTok is banned in India, Afghanistan, the restrictions in US, Canada, Australia. Let me also admit to go on record, I've not joined TikTok because I've been told it's bad. So I will need to sit with my young adult children to show me how to use it without hurting me or damaging my minds. Honorable Speaker, I just want to go through, there's a recommendation here, which I read somewhere that requires a bit more explanation, and probably about those people who manage the backside, the back end. Is it called back end? Back end, whereby they must be find a ways of ensuring their cycle, their social life is protected. And I think that's an area that we need, yes, ensuring the human content moderators have adequate psychosocial support. Because for us to regulate, to ensure we only churn out what is positive, there must be somebody sitting behind to make sure that ban or that regulation is enforced. I do not know if I have got the capacity to see the kind of nudity, the kind of negative, to sieve all through. I'm sure there must be a way, they must find a way of being supported, otherwise they will break down. Honorable Speaker, I still believe let's use social media safely, judiciously, in a manner that promotes our culture and a manner that promotes family values. I would not go for any ban if any regulation should be in such a way it does not stifle creation, content creation, innovation, but protects especially the family and the young children. For that, I support the petition and I commend him. At least now the petition committee is working. Thank you.
Honorable Njeri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I do take note that the petitioner had prayed that TikTok is entirely banned in Kenya, and appreciate the committee for disregarding that request. Honorable Speaker, I will deviate from the contributions that have been done on this floor and confirm that I am an active TikTok member. And I use a platform to educate the young people on the legislation initiatives I undertake on the floor and other constituency engagements. Honorable Speaker, I have read this report extensively, and my law lecturer taught me to always look for the devil in the details. And I do ask myself, why now? What is the rationale behind it? How extensive will these regulations be? Will they be used to stifle dissent, to stifle key fundamental rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution of this great Republic of Kenya? And I ask this, Honorable Speaker, because we do not live in a vacuum. We have seen that autocratic governments that seek to govern absolutely stifle any means of communication that the young people use to reach out to each other, to engage as a community. Besides, I have heard members say that they saw very graphic details on TikTok. TikTok operates on a very sequential algorithm. It operates on a For You page. So it feeds you what you search for. It feeds you the information that you're looking for, Honorable Speaker. And, Honorable Speaker, it is therefore important that perhaps before we utter some things on this floor, we are aware of how TikTok operates. Honorable Speaker, countries like Bangladesh, when they had restrictions on TikTok during election period, the country went down in ruins. So it is imperative for this report to capture the extent of these regulations that will be proposed on TikTok and any other social media platform. Oftentimes, Honorable Speaker, when people feel that perhaps the government is trying to stifle expression of their rights, we always see explosions, and we do not want to see that because we know that we are nearing the election period in 2027, Honorable Speaker. The morality of a society is a mirror of that community, Honorable Speaker. A lot of immoral things or things that would be categorized on the sphere of immoral are happening, Honorable Speaker, not only on social media platforms. Some of them are being perpetuated. When young people are killed by the government, that is something that is immoral, Honorable Speaker. So it is not only about social media platforms. We must get to the devil in the details in regard to these regulations. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, TikTok has been a platform where community matters, social matters are addressed. It is a support community for many young people and others in the society. At the advent of the 2024 protests, when young people were arrested and most of them could not raise cash bail, I engaged a very popular TikToker who goes by the name Gedaiga Washai. And I'll leave it there because those who know him, know him. And we managed to raise a tune of Kenya shillings 1 million, which paid cash bail for young people who come from underprivileged backgrounds. So this is a platform that, yes, regulations will be there. We must be told to what extent. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ibrahim Sanei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, TikTok has both good and the bad. The good things ordinarily don't need any regulations because they are good. What needs regulations are the bad things. And here we are discussing on the bad side of TikTok. Advanced countries that have industrialized are the ones who are the source of these technological advancements. And in doing so, they are not friendly to our cultures because of our incapacity. They are not friendly to our values, Madam Speaker. So the need for regulation is mandatory. If we don't regulate, then there will be legal suits following. There will be financial losses for businesses and individuals. There shall be damages because of defamation and the kind of thing. And operational damages because of misinformation that are related to the contents of that negative TikTok. Madam Speaker, there is so much defamation on persons, communities, companies, any entity that is being publicized and regulated all over without control, bringing damage. There are things of criminal nature that goes through TikTok that needs control. Madam Speaker, businesses are being damaged because of business rivalry. Some contents, if not controlled, cause undue negative rivalry. Madam Speaker, there is a lot of immorality, nudity, promiscuity propagated by TikTok. At night, in as much as we always stand for a 24-hour economy, our boys and girls are in petrol stations taking pictures that are not within the standard of the norms and cultures of the African society. Madam Speaker, some of the things happening in TikTok border on national insecurity. That needs to be regulated and tamed. Madam Speaker, with artificial intelligence, anything can be done on your photo. Anything can be said about you that is not yours. Impersonation, propaganda, filthy things about a honorable member like you, Madam Speaker. We need to manage this. Our social values are eroded. We can't just be importers and acceptors of anything that comes to us. As a country, we must have mechanisms to regulate the bad side of TikTok and maintain the good side of TikTok. That's what I mean. Madam Speaker, that is my contribution. If you would allow me, tomorrow is the beginning of Ramadan. I would wish from the floor of this house, and it is equally an ash day for our Christian brothers, I would wish to take this moment to allow a very peaceful Ramadan for Muslims and a happy Ash Day for our Christian brothers. With those few contributions, I support.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sanei. And as a Christian, the Ash Wednesday is not just a date followed by the Lent season, so it's also going to be together with Ramadan. Honorable members, I know there is a lot of interest, and unfortunately our time is up. This debate will continue, so you will have the opportunity to make your contribution. Be upstanding. Honorable members, and the time being 7:02 p.m., this House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 18th February at 9:30 a.m.